Okay, hey guys. So let me adjust on here. So this is take 2 of things that I have finished, number 32. So I was about, I don't know, like a third of the way through recording this a minute ago, and somebody knocked on the door and scared me to death. And my face was just hilarious, and then I got all off kilter. So I'm just gonna start over from the beginning. So yeah, it was just somebody wanting to do yard work, but whatever. I don't know, my face was like, ah! So I'm just gonna start over. But anyway, like I said, this is the number 32, and it's things that I've finished. And I have like a whole bunch of stuff because it's been a whole month. It seems to be like that's the trend. But I've been off this last week or this week, whatever. And I was out of town this weekend. So I've got a lot of stuff done. And yeah, the reason I didn't record last week is because my husband has been here every day. And it just makes me a little bit like awkward feeling to record when he's in the next room because he can hear me. Plus he has the TV really loud and y'all don't want to hear all that. So I have like a whole laundry basket full of stuff to show you. There are like 2 things in here that I'm not sure. I think I may have shown you last time, but if I did, I'm sorry. I do not have any works in progress technically. Actually, maybe I do. I'll get to that there towards the end of the basket. So they're kind of finished, but not. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a hat that's technically finished, but it doesn't look like it's finished because it's still got the ball attached to it. So I went to my husband's parents' house, my in-laws' house the other day. Well, he had to fix their TV. They got a new one. It's one of those smart TVs, and he had to show them how to work it and do Netflix and all that kind of stuff. So I took my bag, my little Poor Girl Project bag that Erin makes, that I love them. It's got Frenchies on it. And I forgot to put a pair of scissors in there. So it is done, but the ends aren't sewn in, and it's still connected to the ball. I will remedy that in just a few minutes after this video. But it's just your standard Better Late Than Never beanie, which seems to be my favorite. This one actually is kind of a variation on that. I did add the bottom. Excuse me, my allergies are killing me today. I did add the bottom, which I've done several times before. But this one is actually, okay, so the Better Late Than Never beanie, which is a free pattern, just type it into Ravelry, is double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, just all the way around. Okay, after you do your decreases, it's just the one in each spot. What I did, just because I didn't have any stitch markers with me, and when I do the single crochet around, I can't tell sometimes where my row started. So what I did was I actually did double crochet and half double crochet. So on the rows where the pattern calls for a single crochet, I did double. So it didn't really make that big of a difference. It just made it easier for me to be able to tell where my rows stop and start. It's really not any, it's still the 18 rows, which is an adult length on the pattern, and it really didn't make it any longer than a regular one. So that's something, if anybody's interested and you don't have stitch markers, or you don't want to bother carrying stitch markers around, or you just forgot them, which is what I do, you can do the half double instead of the singles, and it really doesn't make much of a difference. I've done a couple of hats like that now, and I really don't see that much of a difference in the sizing. So there's that. And this is that yarn I got from Joann's. It's like Serenity by Pearl Essence or something, and I don't think they sell this anymore at Joann's. I have not seen it, but it was when it was all marked down, really cheap, and then they had that coupon, so I went totally crazy. These next 2 things I'm going to show you, these are the 2 items that I can't remember if I showed you last time. I kind of think maybe I showed you this hat because I kind of remember talking about how I don't like this yarn. But this is just another one of the Better Late Than Never beanies. I think Yes, it is. And with that same kind of almost ribbing across the bottom. I like to finish these hats with something different because I feel like when I just go straight down it looks too plain. But this is this is the Michaels brand of like the homespun, so it's loops and thread homespun or something like that, and I really love the way they turn out, and they're super soft and nice and squishy. I just don't like working with it. It gets stuck around your hook, and no, it's just not fun. I like the finished product. I really don't like the process of that. This is the other thing. I'm sorry if I say like a million times. I feel like I do. This is the other thing that I finished, and I don't know that I showed you this last time. Maybe I did. But this was a project that I had, oh gosh, work in progress forever, just languishing around. It's an easy pattern, super simple. I don't know. I just didn't have the motivation, but I finally finished it. So basically all it is front post double crochet on each row, or back post, just whichever. You just pick one and just do the same one all the way down, and it makes ripples on both sides. And that's all it is. And it's just a long scarf. This one I'm keeping. I just really like the not the texture, but the color. That's what it is. I really like the color. I don't think it probably does it justice on the camera, but it's almost like a gray green, but it's run through with like hints of pink, and I've just never seen one like that before, and I really like it. So sorry I had to click on something, but yeah, so this is done finally. Very proud of myself. That's 2 projects this week that have been just ongoing works in progress forever. I still have several over there that need to be worked on, but you know. The next thing, and I know y'all have seen this several times, is my, I guess what I called my Halloween shawl, and I think it's got to be a year at least that I've been working on this. And it was just very, I'll just show it to you. It's finally done. It is crochet thread, which is why I think it took me forever. It's comes out beautiful. Like, I really like the webby kind of thing it's got going on. It's just pretty. But it's very fiddly. The thread falls off your hook really easily. You have to be very careful. And after a while, it just works on your nerves. You drop a stitch, you have to pick it back up. Yeah, but it came out beautiful. It can be a scarf or a shawl. I just think it's really pretty. And I'm really glad it's finally done. I probably won't do something like that again, even though it's cool at the end. It was a lot of teeny tiny work. I think I showed you this before, work in progress. It's a baby blanket that I finished, and it is a closed granny square, and you can find that pattern on Ravelry. Just type in closed granny square, and I just really like it better than a regular granny square because I just like the actual fabric. And I feel like if you're making a baby blanket, a granny square, sometimes I don't want a baby getting their finger stuck or their little hand stuck in the holes. So, which may be silly, but still. And this is just cream, and then this green color and blue. And then at the edge, because I thought it needed a little bit something extra, I added these little shells or ripples, whichever one you want to call them. The whole thing is just double crochet in a closed granny square, and these tops are double crochets. There's 5, and then I skipped a stitch and did 5 Well, actually, I skipped 2 stitches on each side. So in the middle, there's 5, and then I did skipped 2. I put a slip stitch in the middle. So I skipped 2 and then did 5. Same thing all the way around. I did it on the edge all the way around. So it didn't really take me that long. I really like this. I like baby blankets because you get the fun of making a blanket, but they're a little bit smaller than the huge Afghans, you know. And baby blankets are just so stinking cute. So, yeah. So there's that. I don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff as I'm taking it out of the basket. Because, Lord have mercy, there's a lot of stuff. Let's see here. Next thing comes out of the basket. This is an infinity scarf I made out of some yarn I got from a lady who had it in her garage. She just had like literally totes and totes and like those big Sterilite totes that are like gallons and gallons or whatever. Those like stacked everywhere. Her husband, I think, was making her get rid of a lot of her yarn. She used to own like a yarn shop or something. I don't know. She was a little bit creepy. The garage was creepy. I took people with me. So I don't have a ball band for this anymore. But I love this yarn. I don't even know. It's not that it's super soft, but it looks like ice cream to me. It reminds me of ice cream. So what I did for this, let me fold it so I can hold it and show you guys. It is basically double crochets here. It's all double crochets actually, but what I did was for these rows, as you can see, it's got these look like chains off across the top. That's where I did the camel stitch, I believe it's called. It's where you crochet into that 3rd loop. Not the front or back loop, but there's one behind it. So I did that for 3 rows and then a regular double crochet for 3 rows. And I just think it made just a nice pattern to it. A little bit of interest. And it didn't distract from the cool colors in the yarn or the way it's like speckly. I just love it. And it is a big infinity scarf. It will go around my head twice. So it's chunky. It's great. I love it. This is my problem. I don't really wear that much stuff that I crochet, but I love all of it. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should keep this because I might wear that. And if I did that for everything, I would have like way too much stuff. I just love it all. I love the way yarn feels. I just love it. So, I broke out my big Addy machine. I actually have a couple of things to show you that I did on the Addy. This is just one of the tube hats that you double up with the pom-pom on the top. This was actually not originally supposed to be a hat, but I didn't have enough yarn to do what I wanted to do, so I made it into a hat. I was trying to make one of those baby snuggie, why can't I think of them? I can't think of my words. Those baby snuggie pouches or sacks. But I didn't have enough yarn. It wasn't going to be long enough. So I turned it into a hat. Still really like it. Super cute. I did the pom-pom on the top with kind of the mixed colors and stripes. I have trouble. I don't make a lot of pom-poms because I have trouble with them. They tend to come apart on me. I followed the directions. I even watched YouTube videos. And I still, like, if I pull my pom-poms, the little pieces will come all out. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong about that, or if that's just the nature of pom-poms. And I do use one of those pom-pom makers. That might be it too. So, yeah. The next thing I'm going to show you, I went a couple of weeks ago to not Joann's, my favorite retail yarn place, to, what is that place called? Hobby Lobby. Where I like their yarn. I think it's cool. They have a lot of different kind of types in the I Love This Yarn, a lot of different patterns and striping kind of yarn, but I feel like most of their yarn's kind of overpriced. It may just be me or in my area. My Hobby Lobby's in a fancy area. So anyway, But I did see this yarn they had, and I don't know if it's new. I've never seen it before. I've just not paid attention. It's called, I love this yarn, Paints. So I was like, huh. And it's really neat in the ball. I wish I had I used both skeins, but I wish I had another one to show you. It looks really cool in the skein. And it's just a bunch of different, it's like a bunch of different colors. It almost looks like scrap yarn, but it's not. This is, again, a Better Late Than Never beanie with like the camel stitch on the bottom. Or no, this is a front post double crochet across the bottom. But yeah, I'll show you. I made a scarf too, which is easier to see the colors. Let me show you. Let me unwind it a little. And this is an infinity scarf too. I've just been kind of into making those recently, but I'll show you, try to show you kind of one side. And I kind of like it, but it's strange to me. It almost looks like scrap yarn, but not. See what I'm saying? So I don't know if how it would look with knitting. It may look completely different in the sometimes I think they dye yarn with knitting or crocheting in mind, and this may be one of the yarns that would look super cool knitted up. I don't know. I don't really knit. I'm not gonna, you know, I've got most of my knitting needles that I've collected along the way listed on Craigslist right now, because I enjoy crocheting. I just don't enjoy knitting. So yeah, so I'm not gonna knit it, but it may be that the pattern would look completely different knitted, and it probably would. But I think it's a neat overall effect. I'm just not sure I love it, or I don't know. I'm kind of I would say beige on it. I use that when I'm kind of like, meh. I'm beige about it. I like it, but I'm not in love with it. Or I really like the way it feels though. Super soft. I do like the wrist warmers that I made from the same pattern, from the same yarn. If I can find the hole, I'll put one on my hand. Oh, I have a hard time putting it on that hand because my ring is on there and it catches the yarn. But so this is what they look like. I think it just makes a neat oh, I got an end I need to chop off there. Got a little woo. But anyway, I think they look cool in this form. I think it might be that because it's a smaller row, it just looks neat. I like them in this way form. I'm not sure I like them in the scarf. But yeah, I do have a different color. I bought 2 skeins of 2 different colors. I do have another color that's darker that I may like better. It may be just the colors in this one that are kind of giving me a hesitation. So we'll see. I finished another shawl. This one had been going on for a while. This one's a shorter one. It's a little bit different. It is, I forgot to tell you. I've said that before, so it's not like a crazy thing. The Halloween shawl that I made is just one of the pattern for it is, it's called It's a Triangle Shawl, or It's Just a Triangle Shawl. I'm not sure which one it's listed under, but if you type It's a Triangle Shawl, it'll come up. It's a really, I love the pattern. But this one's this one's a granny square type one. It's very much more holy, and it's got a kind of a different shape. It's a shallower, I need to block it, but it's a shallower V than the other one. I'm okay with this. This yarn, I need to do my ends here as well. I don't know what I was doing. I'm bad with ends sometimes, but this yarn I just wasn't thrilled with. I really think it's cool looking. I just couldn't find a pattern that showed off the neat kind of speckly of it. I'm going to fold it so I can show you better. But it's got this really cool, it's regular yarn, but then it's shot through with almost like this ribbon. And it's just really neat. But I couldn't find a pattern that I really, really liked for it that showed it off well. Because when I did a solid kind of crochet on it, it didn't look very good. Like it didn't show those shots of color good. So, yeah. The next thing I have, this was an experiment, and it's kind of big. And I really wish I could have it the other way. Okay. Let me just show it to you first. This is on the Big Addie. Again, it's a hat. It's a fluffy hat. And this side is not the side I like. But this is the side where it rolls with the brim. So I don't know. This is the side I really like. Because it's super soft and it's like a cloud. So I don't know if there's a way I could get it to roll the other way. Because that's kind of a knitting thing, and I'm not so sure how that if I could block it to roll the other way maybe. But just the inside is so much prettier than this side. It's like it's still super soft. I just like, I'm sorry, my computer just made a crazy noise. But this side is just much softer and cooler. And this is out of like a baby yarn. It's one of those really fuzzy baby yarns. It just reminds me of a cloud. So yeah, but I'll see. Maybe I'll look it up and see if there's a way for me to roll it the other way, or if it's just gonna have to be on this side. I made a headband ear warmer out of the same yarn, and you might be able to see what I mean now. This I turned the other way. I need to, it's got my hair in it, or I put it on my head. But this is the super soft, squishy fluff ball cloud side. And this is the side I like. So, and this was just on the baby, the little Addie, the Addie Professional, and I just turned the tube inside out. So it was super easy to get the side I wanted for this one. And this is gonna, oh, it's like earmuffs. It's so soft. I just love it. I'm not gonna keep it. I can't keep everything that I make. It's just not, it's not good. I had some ginormous bulky yarn that I needed to figure out something to do with. Oh, that's what this is from. I know the story of this now. Now that I've unrolled it and touched it. This is a scarf. It's just a traditional, you know, not an infinity scarf. This is double crochet and half double crochet, just rows alternating. The fringe, I did something a little different. I did single strands of fringe, and then what I did was I knotted the end of the strand and then kind of frayed the very end, so it has this kind of fluffy stuff going on here. It's not a new concept. I've seen people do it. I just thought it was, with this yarn, because it's very loosely twisted kind of yarn, it just worked out really well. But yeah, okay, so this yarn originally was my first kind of attempt at arm knitting, and arm knitting, epic failure. I did not like the finished product at all. So I took it apart, I frogged it, and I made this scarf instead. And I think there's more yarn left. I'm sure this is not all of what I used to arm knit, because I arm knit like a big old scarf. So there's more around here somewhere, and I might make a hat. I got that white fluff all over me, but I'm probably gonna make a hat with what's left. I really like it. It's a beautiful wine, like a wine color. So yeah, arm knitting failure. These are another kind of failure, but not, it's just something I tried and I don't like the way they look. I made these are like little shoes, little house shoes. I don't like them. They're gonna be frogged. That's why the ends aren't tied in. It was just an experiment, a pattern I found to see if I'd like doing them. I don't like the way it turned out. I don't like how pointy the toe is, because you decrease. Actually, you don't decrease. You start out and you increase, and the toe's pointy. I don't like that. But you live and you learn. So I know I don't like doing those. Made a couple more wash rags. These are purple, solid granny square again. Just a couple more. I make them when I need something kind of fast and not too labor intensive. And all these last things that are coming out are things I made. Well, not all of them. There's a lot of stuff still in here. Oh my gosh. Seems like a never-ending pile of stuff. Okay. Let me do some rearranging here. Put all this stuff back in my bucket. I'm gonna wash some of it. I gotta kind of go through it and put it where it goes, list it, take pictures of it. Ugh, it's a lot of stuff to do. Okay, so here we go. These are the items that are finished but not finished. These 3 orange hats that I have, they're just basic Better Late Than Never beanies, adult, 2 kid size ones. What I want to do is I'm gonna make, I got some felt and I'm gonna make little pumpkins because I think that's so cute. So I'm gonna make little pumpkin, you know, the eyes and the mouth, the traditional jack-o'-lantern. So the beanies are finished, but I'm gonna wash them before I do the felt because I'm not so sure. I've never done felt in the washing machine. I'm just kind of scared of how that would take. So I'm gonna wash them first and then put the felt on them. So that's what those are. That's why they're finished but not finished. Let's see. This is my first attempt, and you might have seen this on Instagram if you follow me. Crocheting Stitch is my Instagram name. My first attempt at a Pokeball hat. And I think I did pretty good. Margaret of Sheepishly Sharing, her channel is awesome. If you want to go over and check her out. Dog is making crazy noises at me. She had a standard double crochet beanie, and I liked the pattern, but you know me and my Better Late Than Never beanie. So because I have that one memorized super easy, I just did that one. And this is the one that I do where it's I did double crochet and half double instead of double and single. So, and then I did this circle on the front. So the next thing that I'm going to do, like this is my first attempt. I do like my ratio of red, black, and white. I like that. I think that worked out good. I think my circle needs to be smaller. I think it's too big. I think it just needs to be a little bit smaller, and I'm going to move it up some. And this is the adult size. I'm going to make a smaller one because I figured kids would be, well, I don't know. A lot of adults are doing Pokemon now, but I just thought it was super cute. It needs to be washed because it's red heart to get the nice bright colors. I always go with red heart, but so yeah, it's my first attempt. Pokeball. I think I did pretty good for a first attempt. Yeah. Okay, the last things on here that I have are all on the Addy machine, either big one or small one. Super, super easy stuff that I always, you know, not easy stuff, but you know how I do them. I made a bunch of headbands. These two is the blue and this variegated. I made several in this awesome sparkly. I really like this. And if you have the Addy, the little Addy, the Express, there's another one. It's 90 rows is the headbands, 90 rows. Then I made a scarf. This is also on the professional, the smaller one. Just a tube, super long tube that you can twirl over a bunch of times, and it's out of that cool sparkly. I hope you can see how neat and sparkly it is. It's just awesome. Awesome sparkliness. And this didn't have an amount of rows. I just used everything I had left over for this one. And I made a hat out of it. I'm liking the hat. It's super floppy because of the kind of yarn it is. I just love it. And it's sparkly. It's just, sparkliness is an awesomeness. I just love it. And I got this yarn on clearance at Walmart. So you're not going to be able to find this, I don't think, again. It was, well, unless they bring out, it was a Christmas yarn. I guess it's Christmassy.